Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Top in this newscast, Senator-at-Large Craig Barshinger has again filed an injunctive relief in Superior Court. It's his second motion, but this time it's a renewed motion which was invited by the court. What does this one seek to do? News 2's Erica Bivens has more.
In March 2011, Senator-at-Large Craig Barshinger filed a motion for injunctive relief. He sued the VI legislature for reimbursement of some $46,000, monies he says were spent doing legislative duties.
The court ordered mediation with the legislature, and the mediation was a sham.
This week, Barshinger filed his second motion for injunctive relief after the court told him to renew his motion.
In order to get an injunctive relief, you have to show that there will be irreparable harm done to someone, in this case, to the people of the Virgin Islands and to myself in my professional capacity. I felt that I did that, but it was somewhat speculative in the first time that I filed it. But in all that has happened in the last 2 years, now we know about the corruption.
Barshinger's complaint says VI Code Title II, Section 76 is being broken. That law states each member shall receive a base allotment of 2% of the total budget of the legislative branch for the operation of the member's senatorial office. But Barshinger says getting money is more like playing a game of Mother May I.
For instance, the senator-at-large needs to travel back and forth between St. Thomas and St. John, and they're simply not allowing us to get any ferry tickets any longer. I'm supposed to represent St. Croix, and I haven't been to St. Croix in 4 weeks. They will not allow me to spend my allotment for tickets to St. Croix.
Barshinger proposes a third party handle his allotment and that all spending be published monthly on a website. However, the court has scheduled a hearing after the swearing in of the 30th legislature.
The court has scheduled the hearing on the case itself, the overall complaint, so I'm looking forward to resolving that.
Calls to Senate President Ronald Russell were not returned by news time. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
News 2 will keep you posted on the court hearing. One St. Croix community made it clear during a town hall meeting Wednesday night that they don't want any part of a planned housing project in their neighborhood. Residents of Anna's Hope told Housing Finance Authority officials in so many words that the project needs to be put somewhere else. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
Tempers flared and hands were flying Wednesday night as residents of Anna's Hope voiced their displeasure about a 72-unit low-income housing development planned for the area.
My father's turning over in his grave now, and you're damn lucky he isn't alive to be here tonight.
Even if you say that 110 ABC, whatever it is, was not part of for the veterans, you want to tell me it is no way y'all Finance Housing Authority could have at least given it to veterans? Why it has to be for low income?
5 miners kill a man in St. Thomas, beat it to death. We don't know if their mother is a lawyer, a doctor, a judge. I don't want that in my backyard. That's my son's playground.
At the hearing at the library, I asked if any other property had been considered. I got no response. Now tonight you're going to tell me there was other land that was considered?
Housing Finance Authority officials, along with project partners, held a public meeting to answer residents' questions about the proposed project that is estimated to cost $24 million. The land was transferred to housing under Senate law, and the authority has awarded $23 million in tax credits to develop the units. Residents say there is a certain crime factor that goes along with low-income housing, and they don't want their property values to drop. Officials say they have a good track record with other properties developed and managed on St. Thomas and St. John.
All of these properties are well managed. The quiet enjoyment of the residents there are tantamount and really put first to ensure that the viability of the community, the compliance with the tax credit regulations is there so that residents can have a safe, decent place to live.
The project needs DPNR approval to move forward, but Anna's Hope residents and one attorney present at last night's meeting made it clear they're going to fight this all the way.
We are 100% against this project, and whatever we're going to do so that you don't build it. We can't tell you where to build it, but we'll tell you where not to build it.
But I don't even think this is a properly noticed meeting. I don't consider this to be a meeting, and I'll tell you right now, this matter is going to end up in litigation.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Housing finance officials say the project must be completed by next December in order to use the federal funds. Well, it's been a day since Gladys Abraham Elementary School was temporarily put on lockdown for an hour after a threat was made about shooting school personnel. News 2 has learned that the threat was actually made by a parent who has since been arrested by federal agents. News 2's Alison Bourne-Vanek has the latest.
Police presence continues at Gladys Abraham Elementary School just a day after the school was temporarily put on lockdown. According to these court documents, a parent by the name of Vendell Alvin Williams called a classmate of his child and threatened to shoot school personnel. St. Thomas St. John School District Superintendent Jeanette Smith-Berry says that the school was even receiving threats back on November 29th.
The initial threats had come all the way from November 29th. Yesterday, the issue that prompted the action by the school stemmed from the fact that a parent reported that a call had been made to her home alleging, asking questions and alleging certain threats. So the parent reported that to school. So, of course, everybody had to take that seriously.
Smith-Berry says that the school day proceeded normally on Thursday. However, several students were absent.
Understandably, there were some parents who made a decision to keep the students at home, but school did start and did get settled in normally. There were a number of absences, and then we had the opportunity to do another assessment of the campus and the security measures and, perimeters that we are planning to do at every single school.
I just want everyone to know it was an isolated situation and it's not going to be tolerated. I know sometimes people get upset and for whatever reasons they want to make threats or whatnot, but threats against individuals or threats against kids or institutions will not be tolerated and will be investigated and prosecuted to the highest level.
And while there will be police presence here at Gladys Abraham Elementary School until the Christmas break, the parent who made the threat to school personnel is currently in federal custody. For News 2, I'm Alison Bourne-Vanek.
While Vendell Williams is in federal custody, the U.S. Attorney's Office says that if he's released, he'll be placed on home confinement with electronic monitoring. While the school threat to Gladys Abraham Elementary School comes just days after the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, on Friday, the territory will join the nation in observing a period of silence in honor of the victims who were shot and killed. Additionally, schools will set aside 30 minutes during the day to allow administrators and staff to speak to students about the incidents. Taxi drivers in the VI were all dressed in black on Wednesday. Members joined together to show their support for those killed in Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. VI Taxi Association President Winston Parker says it was important because the tragedy affects everyone.
It was in our best interest to show the all of the people that we really feel sad and we mourn for the children and the teachers that was, really slaughtered, I should say. And, it makes us feel very, very bad down here because we all have kids all over the world. I should say all over America. So it gives us a real sad feeling. So I call on all of the taxi association leaders to form this organization yesterday to wear black all through the day to meet all the tourists that came in yesterday to show that we are really mourning for the kids.
Meanwhile, the president's new task force on gun violence isn't wasting any time getting to work. President Obama acknowledged the problem is complex, but said it's no longer an excuse for inaction. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Washington.
Vice President Joe Biden is launching his work on President Obama's new gun violence task force.
For anything to get done, we're going to need your advocacy. We're going to need the advocacy of the law enforcement organizations in this country.
Biden is sitting down with members of the president's cabinet and law enforcement leaders today. Their job is to generate ideas for how to reduce gun violence and get them to the president's desk quickly.
This is a team that has a very specific task to pull together real reforms right now.
President Obama wants proposals he can deliver to Congress during his State of the Union address in late January. The White House is looking for Biden to build support for a ban on the sale of large-capacity ammunition clips, to close the gun show loophole requiring private dealers to get a federal background check on all sales, and to renew the assault weapons ban that expired in 2004. Since the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, gun stores like this one in Indiana have had customers rushing to buy up semi-automatic rifles.
They don't run because of the tragedy. They run because of the political response to the tragedy.
The National Rifle Association says it will hold a press conference Friday to discuss ways to prevent tragedies like the one in Newtown. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
And in other news, the White House has denounced the House Republican Plan B to avoid the fiscal cliff by raising tax rates on Americans making more than $1 million. Speaking to reporters Thursday, Press Secretary Jay Carney said there's still time for a grand compromise. He called the Plan B option being pushed by House Republicans a multi-day exercise in futility and a waste of time. Carney said it's a step backward for the American people, and President Obama would veto the measure if it ever got to his desk.
The president cannot force the House to accept what is by any measure a reasonable compromise, a compromise that achieves one of their stated goals, $1 of spending cuts for $1 of revenue.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, the number of Americans applying for first-time unemployment benefits rose last week by 17,000, but the less volatile four-week average dropped more than 13,000 to a two-month low, a sign of a modest job growth. General Motors is recalling more than 145,000 pickup trucks because the hoods can fly open unexpectedly and block the driver's vision. The recall affects Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon mid-sized trucks from the 2010 through 2012 model years. Recall notices will be mailed next month. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything up. The Dow 59, NASDAQ 6, S&P 7. Coming up on News 2, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority board members met Thursday afternoon to announce their short list of narrowed prospects to their RFQ responses to liquefied natural gas and liquefied propane gas suppliers. The short list brings WAPA one step closer to finding an alternative fuel supplier. We'll be right back. Governor John P. DeYoung Jr. hosted a recent meeting with representatives of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and local officials to help advance several large development projects in the territory. Department of Planning and Natural Resources Commissioner Alicia Barnes initiated the site visits and discussed plans for future joint meetings between DPNR and the Corps of Engineers. Corps representatives provided an overview of a resort development at Estate Williams and Punch in St. Croix. Other capital projects in Tatch Key and Mandel Bay and Sugar Bay were also discussed. The Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority board members met Thursday afternoon to announce their short list of narrowed prospects to their RFQ responses to liquefied natural gas and liquefied propane gas suppliers. The short list brings WAPA one step closer to finding an alternative fuel supplier. News 2's Janisha John brings us this story.
Board members of the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority met on Thursday to announce the completion of the RFQ response evaluations for liquefied natural gas and propane suppliers, presenting a short list of companies that have been selected for follow-up discussions.
We've completed our evaluation of the responses to both the LPG and LNG RFQs, and the recommendation we made to the board and how we're moving forward for the follow-up discussion, interviews, and negotiations. On the LPG side, the three companies are Vital, Trafigura, and the Geogas Polaris Consortium. And on the LNG, it's Pacific Rubiales Energy, Gasfin, Cheniere, and LNG Enterprises.
The shortlist narrows down the original responses from 5 LPG and 8 LNG responses to 3 LPG and 4 LNG prospects, a decision process that began on November 9th and that the board members anticipate will make more progress by January.
We've already started the process to make contact and let both the successful and unsuccessful bidders know the results. Requested proposals from these shortlisted companies following these discussions, which will take place early to mid-January. This is going to be the most expeditious means to relieve the burden on the consumers with the high price of energy.
While the alternative fuel solution will help to lessen the high energy costs the territory faces, WAPA officials say that the opportunity wasn't always one that was available.
Many times the public thinks, well, they're doing it now, why wasn't it done before? And it's because they weren't available before. We will continue to update the public as the negotiations proceed, but this is a great step in moving forward and getting rid of our dependency on fuel oil and taking a blow to the high price of energy we have in the territory.
Janisha John, News 2.
WAPA officials say they are confident with the decisions made thus far and will engage in parallel negotiations of agreements to provide with the relevant short list of suppliers. Well, the holiday season is a big reason to stock up. So what stores have the best prices on grocery items typically used for a Christmas meal? DLCA just completed the Christmas Holiday Food Basket Survey findings, which was completed earlier this month. On St. Croix, 5 stores were surveyed: Pueblo, Golden Rock, and Lorain, Stop and Shop, and Plaza Extra stores in Christiansted and Frederickstead. A total of 35 of the same items were compared at each location. The difference between the highest and lowest priced basket for December was $15.92. The lowest priced family food basket was found at Plaza Extra's Frederickstead location. Plaza Extra's Christiansted location came in second. Stop and Shop came in third. Pueblo's Lorain and Golden Rock locations came in fourth and fifth, respectively. Now over in St. Thomas, 4 stores were surveyed: Plaza Extra, Food Center, and Pueblo supermarkets in Long Bay and Sub Bays. The difference between the highest and lowest priced holiday food basket was $14.91. The lowest priced holiday food basket was found at Plaza Extra. Pueblo, Sub Bays, and Long Bay locations came in second and third, respectively. Food Center came in fourth. Now hopping over to St. John, 3 stores were surveyed: Dolphin Market, Starfish Market, and Pine Peace Mini Mart. The difference between the highest and lowest priced food basket for September was $12.88. The lowest priced food basket was found at Dolphin Market. Pine Peace Mini Mart came in second. Coming in third was Starfish Market. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.